say this water comes from Mount Fuji itself, snowmelt filtered from over 80 years, but every pond hides a legend. From a cursed bride to a vanishing toad, welcome to Fuji, where myths still breathe through the springs. This is Eamon, and today's day 1 of our 2-day Mount Fuji trip. Let's go. We're kicking it off at Oshino Hakkai, a village of 8 crystal ponds born straight from Fuji's snowmelt. Sounds peaceful, right? Yeah, until you hear out the parts of the cursed bride and toads. So long ago, they said that this used to be a lake, until Fuji's eruption carved it into 8 springs, each one with its own story and warning. First up, the mirror pond. A long time ago, during a wedding, a nervous bride embarrassed herself, ran and threw herself into the pond. They say on quiet days, her sand will still float on the surface, and sometimes you can see her reflection instead of yourself. Second pond, Okame Pond. This one looks peaceful, but legend says a beautiful girl who lived here was once dragged underwater by a giant toad. The villagers searched for days, she was never found. So moral of the story, don't be too attractive near frogs. The third pond is Yaku-ike. It means central spring. This one is the most famous one. This is located inside a man-made pond, and tourists usually get confused and film that one instead. But this one is actually the real spring. The water is very clear. It's about 8 meters deep. There's a sign that says do not throw coins. This water is supposed to come straight from Mount Fuji. Melted snow, filtered through the mountain, and lava for decades. Then it comes up here from under the ground. I tried it. I actually drank Mount Fuji. The fourth pond is the judging pond. This one is supposed to tell more truth. The story goes, when people in the village used to have drama or disagreements, they would use this pond to settle it. You wash yourself in the water and pray for it to clear the situation. Next pond, this one's calmer. A lot of tall grasses and irises around it. There's a story about a couple that lived by the pond. The husband got really sick, and the wife basically did everything she could. And in desperation, she washed herself here and prayed and begged the gods. Then she said she heard a voice telling her, wrap him in these irises. So she took the pond irises, and wrapped them around him. And in months, he recovered. The sixth pond is the cloudy pond. This one used to be completely clear. You could drink it like the others. And then, a traveler monk asked a village grandmother here for water. She wouldn't give him any. After that, the spring turned cloudy. So the lesson is to be generous, or Mount Fuji personally nerf your pond. To get to the next pond, you actually have to pay and go through this little open air museum area. Out in the garden, they let you actually touch the fish, which I did, which I immediately regretted. They were extremely slimy, nobody warned me about that part. And for the actual traditional house here, it is a real Edo period house, like how people actually lived in the 1700s in this region. You walk into one and everything is still there. The old style stove, wooden storage chests, armor on display, and blades from ancestors. All that. You can climb up into the attic, and there's this tiny lookout platform. From up there, you can see the whole village below. All the ponds, all the roofs, and Mount Fuji's area in the background. It's the kind of view where you stop by, talking without meaning to. Okay, past the garden is the actual bottomless pond. This bottomless pond is really not bottomless, obviously. And there's a legend that says if you drop something here by accident, it disappears, and you can't find it. Then later it shows up in one of the other springs down the system. Well, there's technically the last pond which we didn't go to. It's the 8th pond called the exit pond. But we didn't go. So, yeah. The streets around Oshino Hakkai feels like a village that is super crowded. I got some handmade snacks, dongos, and some mochis, and old-style wooden water channels running along the streets. And then there's this water mill still slowly spinning. That's when you really feel like, okay, yeah, this is Mount Fuji country. You're not just looking at the mountain from far away. You're in a place that literally lives off its meltwater. After the ponds, we went to chase that shot. You know, that shot. You've definitely seen this place online before. A red, 5-story pagoda. Cherry blossoms in spring, Mt Fuji perfectly lined up in the background. That's Arakurayama Sengen Park. Unfortunately, the clouds were not happy with us today, so they blocked Mt Fuji again. So for those of you who don't know, the red pagoda isn't even a temple. It's a memorial tower for the war dead. It's built for people who died, not Buddha. I decided to go on the Arakurayama trail. My friends were already tired and they were like, nah. But I couldn't say no. I basically speed ran the stairs solo. This is around a 2.9 mile trail with an elevation gain of 1300 feet. Also, follow me on Strava, guys. I'm actually preparing for a Santa Barbara half marathon that's coming up in 2 weeks. Anyway, I sprinted up and passed tourists who were dying on the steps. And by the time I got to the top, the Fuji was still gone. Just like down there. I guess I shouldn't be expecting something different. Yeah, just white fog, total whiteout. And I kinda just stood there in the fog, sweaty and alone. And it didn't feel like I missed the shot. It felt like I was allowed to be there. Funny story, when I was going down the hill, a group of Chinese ladies that were coming up asked me how much further they had to go. After I told them a long way, they're kinda discouraged. And then I told them that I took some photos. When I showed them the photos, they were like, oh, can we take a photo of your phone? So they literally took a photo of my photo. I guess, at least they can show people that they've been there. Then we went to check out 2 of the 5 Fuji 5 lakes. Today was 2 of them, and tomorrow we're gonna do the other 3. The first one is Lake Yamanaka, the biggest of the 5 lakes around Fuji. It's supposed to have the perfect classic cone reflection of Mount Fuji across the water. And in winter, you get even those crazy shots of swans floating in front of it, like actual swans, and the Swan boat cruise is closed. So instead of the Fuji, we got Please Come Again. Okay, last real stop. The Mount Tenjō Park above Lake Kawaguchiko. This one was familiar for me because I actually been here last year. I came with another group of friends. You take this ropeway lift up the mountain. It's called the Sky Mountain, and it just floats you up over the trees. At the top, there's this little good luck game. You get 2 shells and you try to throw them through this ring. If you get 1 in, that's good luck. If you get both in, that's very good luck. Super blessed. I threw both and I missed both. So I'm officially running on 0 luck. We decided to walk around the top or furthermore, and we still saw nothing. I remember last year was such a good view. I guess you really do need some luck when you're visiting Fuji, or at least check the weather report. We ended the day circling around Lake Kawaguchi in our car. It wasn't some crazy party day, it wasn't even perfect weather. Honestly, it was kinda opposite. Cloudy, foggy, blocked views, and things closed. But that's okay, because even with that, we still got stories, a war memorial in the clouds, and look, we finally see some Fuji peeking through. Tomorrow we're hitting the rest of the lakes, the other 3 from the Fuji 5. Stay tuned and peace out.